Time. Okay. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm finally bringing to you guys another sewing tutorial. I'm bringing you guys all of my basic collection. This is what I would put out for my basics line for Lese as a clothing brand. These are the basics that I think fit not only my body type, but also I feel like it fits a lot of other body types as a whole. Very versatile. I go through step by step how I came about each decision that I made, so you guys could either follow along this tutorial and make changes as you see fit, or hit your girl up. You could always hit me up and I could either give you direction, or you could just we could work something out. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy, and yeah, let's just jump into the video. So the first thing you gotta do is brainstorm. So I brainstormed all the different options when it comes to tops. There are two categories, long sleeve and the short/no sleeve. From there, there's necklines. Do I want a V-neck, crew neck, turtleneck? And then the length for the bottoms. Do I want full length, cropped, bodysuit? After I made a list of the tops that I wanted from the brainstorm of various sizes that suit my style. For a long sleeve, there is a bodysuit turtleneck, there is a cropped crew neck, and then a bodysuit off the shoulder. For the short/no sleeve category, I went with a full length halter top, cropped one shoulder, long cropped t-shirt with a mock neck, and a spaghetti cropped cami. For the material, I chose soft, stretchy, and light material that I would be able to use year round. First, we're going to make the turtleneck bodysuit. For your material, you're going to need your actual material, as well as a ruler, pin, scissors, and a marking tool like a pencil or chalk, a sewing machine, and some snap closures and needle and thread. To make the pattern, I used two bodysuits that are already owned and combined it to create a new design. When I combine designs of different shirts to make a new pattern, I would overlap the two pieces at the seams and trace the parts that I want to be in the pattern itself. So you are going to have 5 pieces, a back, a front, 2 sleeves, and a long rectangle that would be the turtleneck. I have an extra super cropped piece for the front because the material is slightly see-through, so I would have to overlay it with a lining. But in the end, it turned out well because I felt it added to the design. So we're going to put the lining and the front piece together. We're going to make sure that the wrong side of the front piece and the right side of the lining are going to be facing each other. We're going to loose straight stitch these two together so that it's easier to maneuver when constructing the garment. We are also going to hem the raw edge of the bottom of the lining with a zigzag stitch. Since we are using a stretchy material, a zigzag stitch will allow give within the material without breaking the actual stitching. So next is constructing the garment. We're going to put the back and front pieces right sides together, pin and zigzag stitch the shoulder seams as well as the side seams. You want to make sure that the lining is on the outside when you're doing this, so that when you flip it right side out, the lining would then be on the inside of the garment. So next is attaching the sleeve. I actually learned that it's easier to attach the sleeve when you don't stitch the side seams together first. I had to seam rip some of the side seam out to attach the sleeve. But anyways, we're going to fold the sleeve in half and take the middle part and line it up with the shoulder seam and then pin around evenly. Once that's done, you're going to zigzag stitch those all together. Make sure it's right side facing right side when you're stitching. And once that's done, you're going to go ahead and close up the opening of the armhole of the sleeve. Perfect. After that, we're going to hem down all of our raw edges along the bottom. Once the bottom is hemmed, you can then take your button clasp, unclasp them, and put one on each side of the bottom piece, and we're going to hand stitch this to the garment.
once that's done, you have a closure and you'll be able to wear your bodysuit like normal. Okay, lastly, we'll be tackling this turtleneck situation. So we're going to fold both the rectangle and the bodysuit in half. We're going to take both the middle parts of the rectangle and the bodysuit and line them up right sides together. I started from the back middle and evenly distributed to the front because I wanted the front piece to have the stitch line shown where it's hemmed together. If you don't want that, do it the opposite way and line up with the middle of the neckline in the front piece. Now don't sew all the way shut. You have to leave a little bit of a gap, say about 1/8, because we're going to have to hem the turtleneck portion together first. And then once that's done, cut off any excess fabric from it. And then we're going to make the closure right sides together to the neckline. This is why your rectangle needs to be bigger than you think so that you have the extra space. So it fits not only just the neckline itself, but also to be able to close up higher up on your neck. Once that's done, cut off any seam allowance that is bulky, flip it right side out, and there you have it. I made one not only just in white, but also in this comfy black material as well. So next we're going to do a cropped crew long sleeve. For the pattern, I used a crop long sleeve that I already had and just extended the length a little bit in the pattern. So you're going to have two body pieces, a back and a front. I had an extra front piece once again because the fabric is see-through. And then two sleeve pieces. So once again, we're going to want to stitch the lining to the front piece, loose straight stitch it. The loose straight stitch ensures that afterwards you're able to actually seam rip it out if it becomes visible in any way. Once that's done, we're going to put the two right sides together, back and front, and just sew at the shoulder seam, zigzag stitch. Now we're going to add the sleeves. Once again, fold the sleeve in half and attach the middle to the middle of the shoulder seam and pin all the way around to the both sides and zigzag stitch that closed. Make sure that it's always right sides together. Then we're going to lay out the pattern and hem all the raw edges opening. Hem the sleeve opening, the bottom opening, as well as you could hem the crew neck portion of it as well. Hemming the sleeves before stitching all of it shut ensures for cleaner edges in the long run. Once that's done, we could go ahead and line up the body of the garment and the sleeves together and just do a zigzag stitch along the sides. Once you get to the armhole part, you're going to put the needle down on the sewing machine in the fabric, lift the foot, pivot the fabric, bring the foot back down, and then continue your zigzag stitch all the way to the end of the sleeve. When you're done, cut off excess material, rip the straight stitch if it's visible, flip right side out, and you're done. Okay, lastly for this video, let's finish up the bodysuit. We're going to use the same pattern from the first one without the turtleneck portion. So the amount of pieces that you will have is one front, one back, and two sleeves. We're not doing the lining for this one. So for the front piece, we will cut out a deep V, but I like to do that later on. So since this doesn't have a lining, we are going to stitch the back and front right sides together, just at the shoulder seam as well again. Once that's attached, we're going to attach the sleeve, again right sides together, lining up the middle of the shoulder with the shoulder seam itself. Pin evenly and zigzag stitch. Hem the raw edge of where your wrist would be. I believe I did a rolling hem for this. For that, you will fold down the opening, hem it, and then fold it over again and hem again. This is a rolling hem. It ensures the raw edges don't fray at all within the material. Then we're going to stitch the side seam and also stitch the length of the sleeve as well. Once that's done, we're going to go ahead and hem down the openings of the bottom of the bodysuit once again, like the first time. Once again, once that's hemmed, put 2 clasps on each side of the bodysuit opening and hand stitch that closed. Now we're going to come back to the neckline. What I like to do is actually try this on and put a little marker as to how deep I want the V to be. You're going to fold over your garment and actually cut down the V to that marker that you show. Make sure you do not cut the back lining, okay? That's very important. Once that's done, you're just going to fold over the hem and stitch her all up, and that should be it. Cut off any excess seam allowance, fold her right side out, and there you go. You have an off-the-shoulder bodysuit.